Hello and welcome to this tutorial in Premiere Pro. I'm Luisa Winters. Today I would like to talk about some of the settings in the Effect Controls panel. Let's get to it. In here you can see the same clips that I've been working on earlier tutorials, and I'm just going to single click on one of them to select it. And there it is. And now in the Effect Controls panel I'm going to see the properties of that particular clip. So you see that I have motion, opacity, and time remapping. Let's talk about motion. If we click on this little chevron, this little caret thing to the left of the word motion, we see that motion is really position, scale, rotation, anchor point, and anti-flicker. So let's go ahead and talk about position. So what is exactly the position of the clip? So for that, let's go ahead and click on the word motion, and what that does is that it's showing us here the boundaries of the clip. So we can actually click and drag on the edges here, and we can resize the clip, we can move the clip around, right? So we can do that in a very visual way right here in the program panel rather than numerically. So as I move this here, you can see the numbers for position and scale and all of those just changing simply by clicking and dragging here in the program panel. Now, if I click on this little icon here on the right in the Effect Controls panel, I can reset either all of the effects or the individual ones. So I'm just going to reset everything because I wanted to go back to the original position and scale and all of that. So I reset everything. And let's talk about what position is. So most people at this point are going to say that position is really where the clip is. And that is true. It's absolutely correct. Position is where the clip is, but it's not exactly that, because the position of the clip really doesn't exist. The only thing that exists in Premiere Pro is the position of the anchor point. So the anchor point is the point of origin for all of these changes, except of course opacity and anti-flicker. So let's go ahead and talk about what the anchor point is. So if I click and drag the anchor point and I move it around, and now I play around with the scale, notice that it's scaling from the anchor point. If I move the clip and I rotate the clip, it's rotating from the axis of the anchor point. So the anchor point really is the point of origin. Now, Adobe is originally a print company. So they have InDesign, they have Photoshop, they have Acrobat, right? And in print, we start measuring from the top left because that's how we write. We write in English from the top left and then the next line and then the next line, right? So that's how we read, that's how we write. And that is how we're measuring things in Adobe World. So the anchor point is measured in pixels, pixel coordinates, side to side and up and down. So the X, that would be the side to side, and the up and down would be the Y, with coordinates 0 for X and 0 for Y being top left. So top left, and here we go. If I were to change my position to 0 for X and 0 for Y, you see that my clip doesn't really go top left, but my anchor point did. Do you see that little thingy right there on the top left? That is the visual representation of my anchor point. So position is where the anchor point is in the viewable area. So in the space that you actually see, that's the viewable area. You can also call it the canvas if you want. So that is giving me where the anchor point goes, right? So position refers to where the anchor point is with respect to the viewable area. Now, then what is anchor point, right? So let me just go ahead and move this and make it smaller so we can see this a little bit better. Anchor point. If I change this value to 0, 0, you're going to see that the clip moved, but the anchor point is top left of the clip, not the viewable area. So the clip, the value for anchor point refers to where the anchor point is with respect to the clip. So position is where the anchor point is with respect to the viewable area. Anchor point is where the anchor point is with respect to the clip. So top left of the clip, that's 0, 0 for anchor point. Top left of the viewable area is 0, 0 for position. Alrighty, so let's keep on going. Scale is measured in percentages with 100%. Let me go ahead and reset everything. 100% being the native scale of the clip. So if it's 100%, hey, you're seeing all of the pixels. And you can make it smaller. You can make it larger. And there you go. And notice it's scaling from the anchor point. Okay, so what is rotation? Well, rotation is measured in degrees. And if you go to 360 degrees, right, that's a full rotation, a full revolution. So 360, and you will see that nothing happened. Well, nothing visually happened, but actually the clip rotated one full revolution, and that's why you couldn't see it. So now you're going to see the value for rotation to be 1x0. So anything above 360, and that first number is going to change. Look what happens when I scrub it. By the way, scrubbing is when I put my mouse cursor on top of the number changes into a little pointy hand, and now I can click and drag and dynamically change the value without having to type. That's super convenient. So here we go, click and drag, and now you can see it moving because it's going less than one revolution. Of course, if I keep on going and I go more than 360 or less than 360, the first number changes. And of course, like all of the other values, I can reset them by clicking here. And here we go. Now we know what the anchor point is. And now the anti-flicker. This, if we were dealing with interlaced video, so you see only one field at a time, this would mean a heck of a lot more. But for these particular clips, the anti-flicker is not going to work too much because they were shot progressive. I am in a progressive timeline, so nothing is really flickering. But you know what the flicker is. It's, again, usually with interlaced video, things that are less than 3 pixel lines tall. Now you see it, now you don't. Now you see it, now you don't. So it just blurs those a little bit so that is less prominent. The value for the anti-flicker filter goes between 0 and 1. And what it's doing is actually blurring the clip a tiny little bit. It's really imperceptible to your eye. Alrighty, let's go over opacity. Opacity, 100% is fully visible, so fully opaque or solid, and 0, of course, is fully transparent. So if we were to change this value here from 100 to 0, the clip would disappear because obviously now it's invisible. And of course, a keyframe got added in here. You can see it in here. It's diamond shape. And we are going to talk about keyframes in a future tutorial. So I'm going to ignore that right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and reset it right here. Time remapping is one that I'm also going to skip because that deserves its own tutorial. I use time remapping quite a bit, and it really deserves its own tutorial. All right, this takes us to the end of this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.